Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are continuing the HRCYED 3 recommendations and we have reached characters to authors. And I feel like these next 3 ones are really hard. But anyway, characters to authors. So basically you take a book, a character in that book, you take their name and find a book written by an author with that name. And this is where I'm getting confused because I think at first I had understood it that you need to build a chain of 3 books. So you take a main character's name to an author's name, and then that author's name has to be a main character in the next book, so 3 books total. But then I looked up the rules, and it basically said, take a main character's name to an author's name, and do that 3 times. So I interpreted that as just like a set of 2 books, but 3 different times. So a main character to an author, a different main character to a different author, and a different main character to another different author. So 6 books total. But I am happy to announce that I am blatantly using the Storygraph challenge thing that people have set up to look for my recommendations and stuff, and also recommendations for myself. And on that one, it just says 3 books total. So like I originally interpreted it. So now I'm confused. And I'm not sure which way I'm gonna go, honestly. Maybe I need to look up a Q&A video on Q's channel to make sure I'm doing it the right way. But I feel like if I'm doing it like 3 books, at least the Storygraph challenge has also interpreted it that way. And if I'm doing these 6 books, at least I'm reading potentially more than was the plan. So anyway, again, I feel like this one is a little bit hard in and of itself without all the confusion about how many books and how to chain the books. Just because often I don't remember main characters' names in books, so it's kind of hard to remember to oh yeah, he was named that, and I can use this author for that. But anyway, I do have a few that I have read quite recently. And that is, I read Murder on the Marlow Bell, which is a Marlow Murder Club mystery. And really fun, cozy murder mystery about these old people who solve crimes in their town. Very reminiscent of the Thursday Murder Club, which I also love. But anyway, and for this one I actually have both ways of doing this chain thing. So I feel like a murder mystery is a really good book to do because there's also a ton of people, because there are the investigating people, then there are potentially the police if they're not also the investigating people, and then there are all the suspects. So Murder on the Marlow Bell, we have someone named Elizabeth, and you could do Elizabeth Gaskell for that. I have read North and South by her. Loved it, 5 stars. If you love Pride and Prejudice, you should really read this one. It's sort of that same vein, with a family that moves from the south of England up to the north, I believe Manchester, during the Industrial Revolution, and then just how their ways of life are butting heads, but they finally find some common ground. Really enjoyed it. And I was planning on reading some more Elizabeth Gaskell, but I actually read quite a lot of books years and years ago. But I did find this one, which is Tales of Mystery and the Macabre, horror short stories, and it's a little bit of a rogue choice because I don't usually read horror and I don't read short stories. So why would I pick this? And of course this is not set in stone, but you know. But I also recently saw believe his name was Randy Ray on YouTube, and he was talking about the Ray Bradbury 1000 Nights Challenge, where you basically read a short story, a poem, and an essay every single night for 1000 nights. And poems, short stories, essays, not something I usually gravitate towards. So this challenge sounds like completely not in my wheelhouse. But say the word challenge and I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a go. So I could potentially also use this one for that one. Yeah. And if you are doing the 6-book double chain thing, I don't know what we're calling it, then we stop here. But if we are continuing the chain to a 3rd book, then you can read the Thursday Murder Club. Thursday Murder Club, yeah. That's what it's called, because there is a person in that one called Elizabeth. So that could be an option, and let's see, here we go, and that is written by Richard Osman. And if you have read the first one, you can continue the series, and if you haven't read the first one, I really loved the series. I actually didn't really apparently love the first one. I gave it 3.5 stars like years ago, but I think the later books I have given 4 and 5 stars, and I think book number 4, I'm pretty sure it was, almost made me cry, which is a big deal. So yeah. If we are also just doing the double up, then there is also in the Marlowe, Murder on the Marlowe Bill, there is another person called Rebecca, and Rebecca Ross is also an author. For myself, I might read Wild Reverence. I'm not really sure what it's about. I should really stop just going blind into books because that has been my way until now, but I think actually it might be a good idea for me to read synopses before I go into books, because I am currently reading Inkblood Sister Scribe, and that title just gives me like medieval fantasy vibes. Anyone else? And like for no reason, like Inkblood Sister Scribe, 4 words, I'm like medieval fantasy, check. It's not that at all. And I actually read the synopsis and I was like, oh, okay, different. But I'm pretty glad I did, because otherwise I would just be spending the entire time sitting there thinking, why is this not medieval fantasy? Anyway. So I should probably read a synopsis before I go into this one. But if you haven't read any Rebecca Ross yet, you could read Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. This is a duology about these 2 journalists who go to the front lines together, and this is fantasy, and it's like sort of World War I inspired fantasy, where there's a war going on and specific gods are waging war against each other and using humans to fight for them. I really, really loved it. I did read, or try to read, A River Enchanted, also by Rebecca Ross, and I DNF'd it. I don't know why, it just wasn't really, but I might give that another go as well. I honestly can't remember their names because this is just the doubling up I had planned for this one. So yeah, let's see, what else did I have? I do have Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher. I'm not going to use this one for this prompt because I'm actually using it for Choose Your Party, because obviously Paladin is like right there in the title. And then I think I'm also going to use it for craft on the cover, because the knitting needles are right here. And the knitting has played not a significant role, but it's mentioned a number of times. So I feel like it's in there. If you do read this one, then you could read any Stephen King book. because the paladin is named Stephen. So you have a lot to choose from there. You could also read Grace Draven because the female protagonist is named Grace. I read Radiance years and years ago. Really, really loved it. 5 stars. What's it called? Romance about these two who are forced into a marriage, but instead of being like, "Ooh, I hate you," they agree to like, let's just be friends and we'll see where this goes, sort of. And then they end up being more than friends. I don't think that's a spoiler. Then we have the Inkblood Sister Scribe book. And I mean, like, medieval fantasy, right? Am I the only one? Anyway, there is a character in here named Isabel, and there's also a character named Nicholas Sparks. So if you are into Nicholas Sparks, you can read any of his books. He's also very prolific. Nicholas Sparks, it's not for me, so like I can't really recommend you anything specific. But like I said, there's also a character named Isabel, and I would like to read The House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende. I haven't read a whole lot from Isabel Allende. I read like 1 or 2 things, and I was like, I'm not sure. But I watched the movie adaptation of this one when I was a kid, and I was obsessed. I just watched it over and over and over again. And I don't know why I was so obsessed with it. Because it was like outside of everything else I would be interested in as a kid. So, yeah. I think that was it. Let me know if that helped at all. And let me know how you are interpreting this. Like, are we doing just 3 books, so main character, author, main character? Or are we doing 6 books, main character, author, new main character, new author, new main character, new author? I have no idea what I'm gonna end up doing. Obviously, if I just read 3 books like the Storygraph challenge says, then that would be quicker. And then I could do Murder on the Milo Bill, Tales of Mystery. I've already read The Thursday Murder Club. Then I'd have to find another book with, what's it called? Someone named Elizabeth. Or maybe, if I can remember the names of these 2 from, let's see here, Iris, yeah, a Roman, any authors named Iris or Roman? I have no idea. And either way, it wouldn't matter because I wouldn't be reading that. Oh my god, I'm so confused about this prompt. Like, Matilda is the name of the person in Wild Reverence. So, an author named Matilda or Vincent, apparently. Let's see, let's try to Google that. Authors named Matilda minus AI delete. Obviously we get Matilda a lot. That is not what I want. Roaldale, stop. Like authors named Matilda. It's all about Roaldale. Well, let me know if you know any authors named Matilda. Let's see. Authors named Vincent. I think that's what I said, wasn't it? Authors named Vincent. Vince Flynn. Political thriller novels. It's not really my style. Vincent Avis. Vincent Yu. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to come back to this one. Yeah, definitely let me know how you are interpreting this prompt so I can pick a way to do it, and then I can like get down and find some books, because this, I feel like I'm just like floundering if I don't really know how I'm doing it. Yeah, help me out, please. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!